Coming up on this episode of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover.
I'm confident with this game just due to how we're playing and how every week we seem to rectify issues. That's one of the biggest sort of improvements I've seen from the Seahawks team.
Welcome back to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. We're here with our NFL Week 9 preview. We get to the halfway point of the regular season, and we're here to preview all the games, well, Sky Sports games and the primetime games, share our best bets, of which there have been plenty, especially over the last couple of weeks. And we've got a couple of cracking guests as well. I'm, of course, joined by my regular co-host, Byron and Joe. Gentlemen, how are you both doing as we head to this kind of middle portion of the season? Or midpoint of the season?
Great, yeah. Hitting mid-season form, I hope. I feel like you say, we had 14 winning bets, 17 winning bets last 2 weeks.
With Monday Night Football, yeah. So we had another three winners on Monday Night Football. So that was 17, 33 over the last 2 weeks.
So yeah, we're going for 20 plus this week. So bang, let's go mid-season form.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. It was the week of blowouts last week. How are we feeling heading into week 9, Joe?
Yeah, it's certainly the early games. There's more enticing games there. Obviously, there's 8 and 3. I hate when they do it. It's such a big spread, but at least we had the big game in the evening to make it worth it. I think everyone's going to be paying attention to that one and probably not even bother watching the other two because they look a bit too stinkers. So, looking forward to the early games and there's some interesting matchups, like you said, as we're hitting halfway stage.
Yeah, I've been out on the road the last few weeks, kind of whether I've been at London games or watch parties, and that's all been great and fun. But I'm very much just looking forward to parking my ass on the sofa, red zone, and real focus on Chiefs Bills as well in the evening. So yeah, looking forward to a kind of good Sunday sat on my backside. So yeah, I mean, we've got, as we mentioned, the primetime games, the Sky Sports games to preview. We've also got the 12 Talk podcast guys, so the 12 Talk pod, the UK Seahawker Podcast. We've got Mitch and Josh, the guys that run that, joining us a little bit later in the show as the Seahawks are on Sunday Night Football. So we'll talk all Seahawks later on in the show. But should we get into the games, guys? Should we get into our Sky Sports games and our early one? Very AFC-centric this week, the Sky Sports games. It's the Colts, it's the Steelers. Colts are 3-point underdogs. No, they're not. Colts are 3-point favourites. The over-under is 50.5. Can Stinky Pit D stand up to 3 TD JT for MVP? That was pretty well delivered. The class of the AFC head to 3 Rivers at 7-1. The ideal spot for underdog Tomlin, or will Indiana Jones conquer the Temple of Doom? What are we thinking about Colts Steelers?
I'm still thinking about that headline. Yeah, I love this matchup. I think this is a great one for the Colts. We talked about on the review show, the Steelers are the most expensive defense in the league by a significant margin and look like a middle-of-the-road defense at best, let's be polite. And after watching Tucker Kraft on Sunday Night Football, who isn't excited to watch Tyler Warren this week?
Yeah.
He's cooking very similar skill sets. Nobody quite has the yak that Tucker Kraft does, but I think you can get open in the middle of the field against the Steelers defense, are proving it week after week. Danny Dimes is cooking. JT an MVP candidate. Very interested to see what the Steelers can put up this week because this does kind of feel like the ideal spot for Tomlin. Written off, underdog at home. Yeah, there's a lot like kind of in the air about this one. The mythos of Mike Tomlin, I think, is like not stronger. I'm taking the Colts, but I would in no way be surprised if the Colts win you out a 1 or 2 point win and you're like, oh, they've done it again. This is classic Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, this would normally be a spot where I would hammer the Steelers, but I got a bit bitten last week. Although again, I don't think they played necessarily on offense as bad as it seemed. I think they did okay. Yeah, I thought they did okay. They just missed the chances to bury. I only really thought they could have buried the Packers by halftime. And obviously they started. I know that was more the Packers slow, but the defense did okay in the first half, and then it just kind of all fell apart second half. So I'm a bit wary about going for it. So I've gone for Colts ATS, but I don't feel comfortable enough to bet that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of stayed away from a side on this one.
I think there's within that Tomlin ethos and mysticals, like I think so often it's underpinned by a solid defense, though. And
Yeah,
that's where I'm
the
struggling with
one
it this year. Is like the offense is good. Rodgers is way outbatting what I thought. The yak from DK Metcalf is really good. Calvin Austin's getting open. Ben Skowronek's getting touches. Jalen Warren, when they line down at Washington up as a 7-4 lineman over that right-hand side, is doing wonders. But the defense is falling apart. That's why I'm so worried about it for Pittsburgh, because like if Tomlin doesn't have his defense to fall back on, what does he have?
Yeah, they're at 30th in yards per game given up, and that's not where we expect to see the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
No.
And giving up 25 points a game. So, yeah, whereas the Colts on the flip side, the defense have been pretty good offensively, putting up nearly 34 points a game, nearly 400 yards of offense every game. It's been really, really impressive stuff. We're all on the Colts. I think from this, anyway, like what do the Steelers have to do? Because it just feels like everybody's on the Colts here.
I think it's because the Colts defense has been funny in terms of like they have not got off the field that quickly, and I think that just shows how great this offense has been, that they managed to score 34 points, where the defense is a very bend don't break kind of defense, and I think Rodgers can pick that apart. I just worry that it feels like with this Colts team they can just score so quickly. I think last week I went heavily on Josh Jacobs just because the Bengals ran over the Steelers. The Steelers did better in the run game, but not in the passing game. So it feels like, and this Colts is good on both sides. So even if they do try and steal this passing game, I feel like Taylor's just going to go off as well. And they can just, we saw it last week where it just went off for like a 60-yard run touchdown. And it's just a blink of an eye. You're down 7, you're down 14, and suddenly you're chasing and you're playing into in his hands where, they don't have to go all out on defense. And Buckner's is certainly stepping up this year. He's having a great season for this Colts team, and they've got some young players as well who's rounding out. So I don't, because with the Steelers, I feel like they would have to play how they did against like the Packers, where it was like a scrappy game, and that's how they used to win. But like we said, that defense, I don't know if they know how to play scrappy games, and this Colts offense is, you can similar to play the Packers, where you can hold them for a quarter or two, and then suddenly bang, 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 21 points, and you're on the rope. And can Rodgers produce that magic where it can't just be 15 play, 16 play, 10 minutes on the field and maybe kicking a field goal? You have to get touchdowns, and you have to do it. You might have to do it quickly against this Colts team, which teams are not doing, and Colts are scoring like plus 30 points. And I just don't see the Steelers, keeping up and being able to do that. But Mike Tomlin has been there for a long time for certain reasons, so it just might just be working his magic and maybe actually do something what not everyone expects. Because again, that's what it feels like. A lot of criticism this year is a lot of offenses know what the Steelers are going to do on defense, and this Colts team, which Steichen certainly has an offensive mind, who can make the most of that and help his team.
I just kind of think as well, part of me is really regretting maybe not going with the Steelers now, just because I'm kind of looking at the Colts schedule and going, well, where are they going to lose a game? Like they've got at Kansas the week before Thanksgiving. They've got at the Chiefs, and they've got the Falcons in Germany, Jaguars, Texans, Seahawks, Niners. It's obviously tough games. I feel like they could be favoured in the vast majority. They're not going to be favoured going into Kansas unless obviously Mahomes gets injured before then, but probably going to be favoured in the vast majority of the games they've got left, and that includes playing the Texans and Jaguars twice. I just can't, like, they've been so good, but they're not 15-2 good, are they? Like,
I mean, I will say the Colts, this is from DVOA FTN, through 8 games, they have the 4th best offense of all time. Yep. Topped by the 2007 New England Patriots, 1999 Washington team, 2004 Indianapolis Colts, and then 4th 2025 Indianapolis Colts, 37.7% over DVOA.
Well,
they are playing very efficiently. They're playing very well. One player I think deserves a shout out this week. I don't know if any of us took him in fantasy game day. I didn't, but I think is an interesting play. Is Alec Pierce, who leads the league in air yard share against cover 3. The Steelers call cover 3 at the 10 for 11 highest rate in the NFL. If you try and get up close to shut down Tyler Warren, JT, I think Alec Pierce could easily go off for a couple of your long bombs, and he certainly knows how to bring them in. He's a player who's going to get paid this offseason that people might not expect. But yeah, he leads the entire league in air yards against cover 3. So
yeah, he's really good on the balls in AM.
Yep. And one interesting historical note, and this isn't going to be followed up with a number one because all number ones this week were trash. The Colts have won once in Pittsburgh ever. Once. They are 1-10 lifetime, 2-9 against the spread. That one win was in November 9, 2008. Peyton Manning at QB. The number ones were trash. I can't remember what they were, but they were all trash. So we're not even going to bother trying to remember them. That's a kind of concerning record. I can't believe it's that bad because these are like, landmark. Yeah. Hallmark NFL franchises, but yeah, only one win ever in Pittsburgh for the Colts. So that's history not on their side.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump to the bets then. I've just gone over. I might be a sucker this week, so I'm over everywhere. Over 50.5. Over is 8-1 in meetings in Pittsburgh since 1992. Since we're tracking over unders, I guess I think that must have been the late 80s was the start. So, but yeah, the last 9 meetings, I guess over's 8-1 in Pittsburgh between these two. So yeah, I'm hitting the over. I just can't see the Colts offense slowing down. And again, if they get somewhere close to kind of mid to late 30s. Steelers don't really need to score too many to get to the over, so that's kind of where I'm at. They're going to slow down at some point. I don't think it's going to be this week against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense and the way it's playing. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I touched on this a moment ago. We seen what Tucker Kraft did last week. Give me Tyler Warren 60+ receiving yards, just better than even money. Warren has been incredible all season. I think he's going to be Daniel Jones' once again go-to target this week. 60+ receiving yards, even just better than even money at 11-10. I'll take Tyler Warren.
And Joe rounding us off.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on Barron, but I'm also going to add in Pittman and Alex Pierce to all get 60+ receiving yards at 15-1. They did it last week, and I think they could do it again. I think just with the old boys at the defensive backs for the Steelers, they've got a lot of veterans, and I think what this team does well is hit big plays. So I think with Pierce, he could do in 2, maybe 3 catches. Warren's going to be a lot of. I think Warren's the one who has been around the 60 mark quite a lot. It's not like blown it, but Pittman and Pierce they've had a few games where they're hitting towards near the 100-yard mark. So yeah, Pittman, Warren, Pierce, all 6+ yards at 15-1.
Nice. I've mentioned this on the real side. I think Pittman's having a really good year. He doesn't have like tons of yards or anything. He's got 6 touchdown receptions, which I think is tied his career best already. I think he's just playing really, really well at the minute. I feel like he's getting better and better. Excellent. Right. Continuing the AFC theme for the Sky Sports games this week. Sky Sports late game. I think probably the biggest game of the regular season so far. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo Bills. Over under 52.5. Rivalry renewed, of course. It's Allen versus Mahomes again. Another January preview. The 2 dominant AFC teams of the era clash again at Highmark Stadium. Time for division favourites to take charge and start the MVP race. Yeah, Chiefs are 5-3. Is that right? Yeah, Chiefs 5-3. Bills are 5-2. Yeah, Allen v. Mahomes again. The Bills own the Chiefs in the regular season at the minute, winning the last 4 straight. But of course, the Chiefs own them in the playoffs. Where are we with this one, guys? I'm really struggling to call this game. Where are you two guys with this one?
I'm not struggling, and I feel like I should be. I think the Chiefs should be maybe 3.5, 4.5 point favourites here. Ed Oliver being out on an already really bad run defense, let's call it what it is, I think is going to be a huge blow for them to overcome against this Chiefs offense right now. You've got Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce dominating those intermediary routes. Xavier Worthy, we all know, can get involved here, there, and everywhere. Pacheco is going to be out for this game, which is a factor. I wonder if they just call up Eli Mitchell, who's been in practice squad all season, to take that role. I don't think they want to force Kareem Hunt to take a load of work on. I think they like him in the role he's in. Rashad Smith might see an uptick. I don't think they're going to trade for anyone. I mean, they trade for Breece Hall, goodness me. Light out for anyone else, I think, in the AFC, maybe. Not to disrespect the Colts, but I think maybe just Eli Mitchell gets called up and gets a lot more work because he's been inactive all season. But as long as Eli Mitchell is functional, or whoever they have at running back really is functional, I think they can run on this team. Mahomes will find room and time to get going. And we feel like we say it a lot, but I think it's getting more and more as the seasons go on. If Josh Allen isn't Superman, I don't see the Bills winning this game. So maybe he is Superman. He's done it plenty of times before. He's made me look foolish and overcome, big obstacles in the past. But I just think the Chiefs are really well-rounded right now, and their offense is at another level to the Bills' defense.
Yeah, Joe, where are you at with this?
Yeah, I'm leaning Chiefs as well. Yeah, I think it's tricky because it could be one of them where Josh Allen's just like, okay, yeah, it's a big game. It's in my home stadium. And he just like steps up, and it's that kind of like, all these other games have just been leading to this game. But I just see a lot more weaknesses in the Bills team compared to the Chiefs, where they've just gone from where they were at the start of the season to now. I think me and Byron both had them as number one in our power rankings, Paul a little bit further down. They just look unstoppable against some of these teams. And when you look at what the Bills need to do to win, they need James Cook to cook. And in the last 3 games, the Chiefs have allowed 60 rushing yards to the Commanders, 25 to the Raiders, and 98 to the Lions. And we think the Lions are like one of the best rushing teams in the league. And then you go with the Bills, like if they're not going to get 100 rushing yards, where I know Josh Allen, can play Superman, but then wide receivers are just not working out, are just not separating, are just not winning games where you need that kind of players to beat teams like the Chiefs. And I just worry that it's going to be on his shoulder. He's going to do a few of the hero balls where he's putting the ball up for his wide receivers, and he gets picked off a couple of times because his Chiefs defense. That's how they play. So I just worry in that sense that if there was like a weakness in the Chiefs, like the running game, and I thought, okay, yeah, they can do things around it, but right now no one can run on them really, and they're getting players by defensive backs who like no one's really heard of, like young players as they normally do. Steve Spagnuolo is doing what Steve Spagnuolo does, and they're just getting better and better throughout the season. So I just worry that side. And on the opposite side, like no one can really stop the Chiefs. It feels like too easy for them sometimes. Rashee Rice is just getting the ball whenever he wants. And this Bills defense has been their weakness, and they have been thrown on. So I think the Chiefs could, certainly stamp some authority here. But I'm curious. I'll say to you, Paul, like which team would you say is a must-win? Like if a team, because obviously the Bills, if they lose the Patriots, get 1.5 games. But if the Chiefs lose, they get 5 and 4, and it depends what happens with the Chargers and Broncos. They might have 1 or 2 games on them as well.
It's a good question. I think probably Buffalo, because I think I suppose the beauty of the other side, it's a 3-horse, it's a three-horse race, isn't it? And then obviously they've still got to play each other and stuff like that. So there's a bit more room for error. And I think we've got one more. Let's write off the Chiefs moment to go in the regular season. And based on their schedule, it is tough though, to be fair, because they've got. I think they play the Broncos and the Colts after this. I don't think they're going to get through this 3-game run unscathed. So, yeah. But I think also with it, just the fact that the 3 are in it and they're racing together, it's more important for the Bills, and also just how soft that Patriots schedule is. You can't see them dropping loads of games. So I think it's more important for the Bills. I've taken the Bills. I don't ATS. I'm not confident to bet it yet. I just think they're just going to pull out, like I say, a bit of an unexpected win. Like I say, I think everyone seems to be leaning towards the Chiefs.
Have the Bills like not owned the Chiefs in regular season as well? It always feels like they're beating regular season, and then when it comes to that's what I was thinking.
The segment was it? So
sorry. I know both like if the Bills lose, I feel like obviously they're at home. I know if I lose confidence, like they've got Josh Allen or not, but it feels like if they lose that, I'd be like, oh, we can't beat the Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs could lose like 5 in a row, and they'll still turn up to the next game thinking they're going to win it and get to the Super Bowl, while other teams don't, because they've got that mentality.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Bills won the last 4 regular season meetings, going 4-0 against the spread. Do you know what as well? Because I was like, when I saw the line, I was like, oh, I feel like the Buffalo Bills in the last however long, very rarely an underdog at home. They've only been an underdog at home 4 times in the last 6 seasons. The Bills, again, I've seen how good they've been. They've won all 4. Of course, gone 4-0 ATS as well. And all 4 of those games have hit the over. 3 of those totals and lines were 51.5 plus. Flip to the bets, Joe. Give me the over. 52 over 52.5. I think this might. I think this could just be like very much like the playoff game in January. I think this might just get a bit wild. I kind of think that's the way the game's got to go if the Bills are going to win. I think the Bills can win a wild game. If it's like all controlled and stuff, I think that leans to the Chiefs just kind of
grinding.
Yeah, grind, keeping it, at arm's length. And so I think, a bit of a wild one. Give me the over. Just give me Mahomes and Allen just going up and down the field against each other. That's what I want. That's what we all want to see, right? Give me the over. 52.5. It's a ton of points. 52 is so many points, but I'm just bought into that stat. Last four times in 6 years, the Bills have been an underdog. They've won all 4 games. They've all gone the over, and 3 of them had a total of 51.5 plus. Give me the shootout. Oh, here he is.
Told me you heard it before. Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown. Didn't do it last week, which means he's due this week. 37-10. Still getting over 72 on this. I don't understand. In this kind of matchup again, now Pacheco's out as well. I think it just opens up the opportunity more for him. The bigger games, it feels like Mahomes runs even more. I think he'll do it again on Sunday. Repeat the analysis from the last 7 weeks, please. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown. 37-10.
Joe. Oh, how is he on mute? We're nearly 200 episodes in. Can I just point that out? We're very close to 200 episodes in, and this guy's still speaking in fucking mute.
Well, like some people do have to do stuff in the background while also thinking about what to say. So, Paul.
Yeah, no words.
I'm keeping it ticking along.
And just for some reason my graphics know. I've got Josh Allen, anytime touchdown scorer at evens. I think it's going to be a Josh Allen kind of Superman game. He loves to get at least 1 or 2 against the Bills. So Josh Allen at evens to anytime touchdown score.
Thankfully, Paul's keeping them graphics ticking along.
Graphics are Joe's job. I feel like I'm going to combine those bets and maybe put that as my second bet. Mahomes anytime, Josh Allen anytime. That feels good. I like that. That could be the one. Excellent. We're going to jump to Sunday Night Football. We've got a couple of cracking guests joining us for Sunday Night Football. We've got Mitch and Josh from the 12 Talk Podcast. It's the UK Seattle Seahawk podcast. So we're going to talk about Seattle Seahawks season so far, their thoughts for the game, and then Mitch is taking on our 4-fold challenge, so we'll get his picks. Joining us as our guests for our Week 9 preview, we've got returning guests and friends of the show now. We've got Mitch and Josh from the 12 Talk Podcast, Seattle Seahawks dedicated podcast here in the UK. Gentlemen, we had you on for our NFC West preview, and we've got you back at the halfway point of the season. How are you both getting on, guys?
Good. Yeah, surprisingly. I think Mitch will probably attest to this as well. We're not used to being optimistic at the midpoint of the season. So it's quite nice to have a team that's firing on most of the cylinders.
Yeah, it's been great start for the Seattle Seahawks. Mitch, from your perspective, how's it been so far? Like I say, we just mentioned there, it's been 5-6 months since we talked to you last, but a lot's going well.
Yeah, and I don't want to come on here throwing around "I told you so's," but I think we were quite bullish that we were being
pretty
underestimated.
effusive.
Yeah, we were being. I think we were being almost bordering on disrespect from some channels, and actually we came in confident, and I think a lot of the things we were confident in are showing us strengths now. The defense is as good as last year, if not better, and Sam Darnold's really shown out and proven a lot of people wrong. So, feeling good. Excellent.
And just for anyone who hasn't seen you guys before, Mitch and Josh, give us a quick shout out for 12 Talk Pod. I suppose pretty self-explanatory what it is, Seattle Seahawks podcast. Yep. But what have you guys got coming up? And more importantly, where can we find you?
Well, we'll start from the top. So with the 12 Talk Podcast, the UK Seahawkers official podcast, we're a pod by 12s, for 12s, with 12s. So our aim is to have a different 12 or Seahawks-related guest to review a game every single week. We have got one of our Discord members who's going to be coming on all the way from Greece to review the Commanders game on Monday. So we do weekly pods. You can find us on YouTube, 12 Talk Podcast, all over social media, on X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook group. It's at 12 Talk Pod, and you can find us on all audio platforms as well. And as I just mentioned, the Discord, and the king of the Discord is sat here by my side as always. So yeah, there's 12. King of the Discord, 12 small around the world are in there. We're collecting different nationalities like Infinity Stones. It's lovely.
That's
it's
cool.
Great community.
Yeah, and that's great that you've got a guy you managed to build that community, and probably goes maybe underrated kind of the work that guys like yourself do in the UK NFL community, and specifically team specific stuff, building that. So that's awesome to see, and it's great to hear kind of you guys growing and having more success. So please go follow the 12 Talk guys at 12 Talk Pod through all the channels and go give them your support. Mitch, we'll start with you if that's okay. You're right in terms of you saying you're bullish and a bit of disrespect. I think certainly. I think when we were talking, I think the odds were that Seahawks win the division. I think they were fourth, weren't they? I think they were when we did the looking at the odds, which is crazy now. But even then, really, 5-2, top of the NFC West, good division so far. To be fair, obviously the Rams and Niners have gone relatively well as well. But yeah, I suppose what are the key things that have kind of made this start go so well for Seattle?
I think one of the things that people won't necessarily notice when they see that scoreline of 5-2 is that we've really been in every game we've played. The two games we've lost, there was a combined points differential of 7 points. We lost by 4 to the Niners and then 3 to the Bucks. Yeah. So actually, it might be a 5-2 record, but we've been competitive in every game. So, I mean, here's me talking about how we should probably be 7-0, but I mean, circle me back to the actual question because I just wanted to tell you.
Cool. So, what are the key things that have made the start?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So well.
Yeah, I think continuity on defense. We renewed all of the defense. The contracts that were running out, we kept. So we were able to attack this year with the majority of the team we had last year that started to really, really sort of cook on all cylinders last year. And then obviously there was a lot of gambles on offense with the new QB and losing Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf and installing JSN as wide receiver 1. Well, let's face it, the Darnold gamble worked. The JSN gamble worked. They've invested high draft picks in tight ends and backup QBs and all sorts, and all of it just seems to have the continuity they went for on defense worked, and the gambles they took on offense seem to be working, and that's where we are now. I think that's why we've sort of surprised a few. The bets we've hedged have come in so far. Touch wood.
Yeah, so far, and I suppose there's no signs of it slowing down. But Josh, from your perspective, there's again a few things that just all the things seem to have hit. And were we a bit? Again, we knew JSN was good, so that's the point Mitch was made around kind of letting Lockett, letting Metcalf go. We knew JSN was good. I mean, I don't know, did we sleep on him a little bit in terms of how good he actually is?
I think everyone slept on him due to the fact, especially when it came to the Seahawks, he was competing against a DK Metcalf, a larger-than-life wide receiver and player. And people forgot how good he was in college. 5 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl. Him and CJ Stroud just tore it up. And it wasn't by fluke. They weren't all these long bombs. There was nothing like that. He was creating separation. He was the yards after catch were unreal. And his footwork, he reminds me a lot with his get off of Doug Baldwin, but at a higher level. I think everyone slept on him, but then every single wide receiver in that Ohio State class, when they were asked who was the big dog in that room, they all said JSN. Every single one. So we slept, everyone in the league slept on him, apart from the players who actually played with him and knew who he was. So I don't think they're surprised. We haven't seen a glimpse of it, especially last year. We're not surprised now. I'm a bit more surprised with how well it's going throwing deep to him. That's just another string to his bow, but he's elevated his game to an elite level top 5 wide receiver in the league this year.
Yeah, and I suppose that ties then nicely into Sam Darnold. And maybe the Vikings are in a position where they're regretting letting him walk out the door, but that's been the Seattle Seahawks benefit. I suppose, what have you made from Darnold so far in terms of what you thought you're going to get from him versus what you have got 7 or 8 games in?
Mitch, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I can go first on that. Yeah, I think what what we expected was a QB that could operate underneath coverage well. Getting the ball to running backs and tight ends, and that kind of stuff that we expect from a QBX scheme. I think a lot of us thought, well, he's not the flashiest quarterback, but he can operate that, and we know he's got a deep ball, so we'll get the fundamentals we need for the system. But actually, what we've had so far is a really good leader, a guy that's commanded the respect of some established names in that locker room. He's seemingly outperforming skill-wise on what people perceived as Darnold. I think there's a lot of flair, not necessarily flair play. It's not sort of doing anything particularly flashy, but the quality with which he's pulling off tight window throws and back shoulder throws and dropping the ball into buckets. But people didn't really expect that from him. That's where I think he's really winning over the fans. That people are getting more entertainment out of what they thought was a pretty bland QB choice for the next 2 years.
He's been, like I said, performing top 10 in the majority of kind of your key categories, which is a good sign. It doesn't necessarily always translate, but it's certainly a good sign. Josh, might get the sense that you might not necessarily quite be on the same page, or
I am 100%,
okay,
but
cool.
I'm going to echo back to what I said about JSM. People forgot how good Darnold was in college. When he was a Trojan, he was outstanding. There's a reason he was drafted so high. Unfortunately, he got drafted by a dumpster fire and played like hot garbage. There's no two ways about it. And then he's bounced around from team to team as a backup, potential starter, played as a backup, learned from some great coaches and some high quality quarterbacks. And he was left to flourish in Minnesota last year. And now he's just brought it straight to Seattle. So he's matured, and he said that himself. He's no longer seeing ghosts. He spends more time in the pocket because he feels more comfortable, and he knows what he can do with that time. And we're now seeing the fruits of his labor, and we're happy to see it. I'll be very, very honest, because we said in the start of the season, one of our podcasts, we were going to get one of two Darnolds.
Yeah,
there's no middle ground. It's either seeing ghosts, can't throw to save his life, or like he was in Minnesota last year, cool, calm, collected, making these decisive throws to the best possible target, and he's done that for the majority of the season. So
excellent. And there's been a lot to love about the Seattle Seahawks so far, outside of the obvious that we've talked about. Kind of where else are you sort of happy with kind of the success? Who else has been kind of have been real big difference makers for you guys in this early start of the season?
I want to just shout out Tank Lawrence. I think that free agency pickup was looked at as that's an aging pro, and he's really just a run stuffing guy. And people looked at his fitness record. Realistically, he had a couple of injuries early last year. People kind of wrote him off because of his age. Well, the same is true of Chenna Nwosu. Chenna Nwosu's had a couple of injuries, 2 or 3 large ones over the last couple of years. Well, guess what? Chenna's back, and he's fit, and he's playing really well, and so is Tank Lawrence. So there's a bunch of players that are aging on this roster that are showing that they've still got wind in the sails, and they're fit. And that whole pass rush, I'll round it off as just the whole pass rush rotation now looks fit, and our pass rush now is very productive. So yeah, rushing by committee.
Excellent. And I'm a Cowboys fan, so I was gutted to see DeMarcus Lawrence walk out the door, and you see kind of one of the reasons why the Dallas Cowboys are really struggling defensively, missing a player like Tank Lawrence. But Josh, from your perspective, who's kind of been a real big difference maker for you?
Gray Zabel. I said it on our last pod with Dan Viennes and Bryce Coots, our mid-season review. He's transformed this O-line. We've gone from 10 years plus of just diabolical O-line play to plug one player in, to have him with Charles Cross on the left, him at left guard, with his old college roommate at center, who by all accounts is not a fantastic center, but they've played well as a unit. Anthony Bradford, obviously everything's still up in the air with him. No one knows if he does well or not, because he shows flashes of brilliance. Then he gets walked back 6 yards. And then you've got Abe Lucas cementing that right side of the tackle, but he's being hindered by some of the play on his inside at the moment. But overall, that O-line is giving Darnold more time to make the decisive throws. And it's all down to, in my opinion, Gray Zabel being slotted in there at left guard. We've not got a revolving door like Laken Tomlinson like last year. He's really helped solidify that.
Yeah, he's been awesome, Gray Zabel. Really enjoyed watching him so far. He's only going to grow and get better, I think. Just great pick in the draft. And
he's not allowed a sack this year for a rookie.
Yeah, for your rookie went into a struggling line. Yeah, he's just fantastic pickup and fantastic play so far, and he's going to turn into a great, I think. We're going to talk about the game this week in a bit more detail shortly, but I just want to ask you, how far do you think realistically the Seahawks can go? 5-2, kind of at the halfway mark-ish. How far do you think they can go the rest of the season?
Go on, Mitch.
Go on, say it.
Well, when you look around the NFC, if you're really talking about making it, to a divisional game, you need to look around at the Lions, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the Rams. Probably, I think there'll be someone who feels slighted in that bunch that I've just mentioned. But realistically, I think those are the teams that are looking really fit to challenge. There's been a drop off from the Commanders. There's been a drop off from the Packers, in my opinion. Those are your sort of 4 or 5 teams. So I think on our day we beat any of those teams. Genuinely, we haven't lost to the Eagles in 7 games. I think it's been something like 12 or 13 years since we lost the game to the Eagles. It's a mad run. But I don't see why that would change this year if we played them. So I think we make it to a divisional round. I think we probably end up the 3rd seed. We end up about the 3rd seed in the NFC and make it to a divisional round. I think. Excellent.
Would you sort of say that as so that would be a successful season, given kind of what expectations were going in? Yeah.
Yeah, very. I want to see us winning playoff games. Like seeing us get to the division round would be an absolute dream in comparison to the last 6 or 7 seasons that we've had. But I genuinely think we're equipped to do it. Injuries allowing, I think we are certainly equipped with the roster we've got to get that far.
Yeah, that's been our issue so far. Injuries on the back, like the back half of the defense. We've not been able to put out a full strength defense yet. I think if we get to that divisional round, that's essentially putting them where Mitch and I predicted for this rebuild, retool with Mike McDonald. Of what we said, 3 years, get to the divisional round this year, and then you build on that for next year, and then keep going.
2026 could be the year they go all the way. Interesting. It's been, we talk about rebuilds a lot and rebuilding teams. It just feels like it has just been step by step, block by block, and it's the right way to do it, right? To do it gradually as opposed to just kind of the up and down that you get with some other teams. I suppose potentially speaking about one of those teams is who you guys are playing this week. So on Sunday Night Football, we've got the Seahawks against the Commanders. Seahawks are 3-point favourites, over under 47.5. Those Darnold Hawks to take command in DC. I delivered that terribly. Sorry.
I love that wordplay. Brilliant.
Seattle off the bye as division leaders. Can Washington clip their wings as home underdogs? Has DQ got revenge on Q? So, of course, Dan Quinn, former defensive coordinator in Seattle. How are you feeling about this one? So the Commanders are just in a bit of a weird place. I don't know if Jaden Daniels is going to be back playing in this one or not. Obviously, he missed Monday against the Chiefs, but how confident are you feeling going up against the Commanders this week?
Confident. It's a weird thing to say based on how they played last year. I think they surprised everyone. Jaden Daniels' rookie season, Dan Quinn's first season as head coach, bringing in a lot of the older players, obviously taking Bobby Wagner on board, Nick Ballore, just to name 2 past Seahawks there. I'm confident with this game just due to how we're playing and how every week we seem to rectify issues. That's one of the biggest sort of improvements I've seen from the Seahawks team. Mike McDonald and his coaching staff are finding wrinkles within our game that may have let us down the previous game, and they're improving them every single week. And with an extra week to prepare, I genuinely think that they'll have them firing on all cylinders. I mean, it's looking doubtful we'll have Julian Love But Kobe Bryant, Ty Okada, Nick Emmanwari as a safety trio, I'm content with that. And then I generally think, Terry McLaurin out as well for the Commanders.
Yeah, I think he's going to miss a few weeks, so no McLaurin. I think Dials is back, but no McLaurin. Yeah.
So, but when it comes to sort of the wide receivers against our DBs, there's always a threat, especially if Reek Woolen starts. I'm not the most confident in that man's abilities, which I've voiced rather a lot on our pod. Yeah. But especially with the way our D-line's playing, they can just destroy any offense at the moment, which gives us so many coverage sacks, and it gives us picks as well. Ernest Jones been playing out of his mind. I think defensively, that's where we'll win this game, and then it'll be a tight game with the offense. Just being able to drive the ball down the field and take some points.
Yeah, Mitch, from your perspective, what do you think kind of the keys to victory are this week?
I think just continuity with what we've been doing. When you look at what we've done against teams, we've smothered them defensively. We've put pressure on quarterbacks consistently, and we've managed to, without a running game getting going, we're managing to consistently put up 20+ points and be stingy on defense. It's not attractive when you put it like that. Keep your opponent at bay and limp to 20+ each game. But I genuinely think that is a method that is going to get us victory against the Commanders. I'd like to see a running game get going, but we're week 9 and we're yet to see it. So I'm not going to.
Robbie Utes might be back. Robbie Utes might be back, so our running game might actually be effective.
Yeah. Is there? How much, or how is it, or how much is it of a concern? Because typically, especially when we get to kind of December, January time, that having that ability to run the ball is huge. I think for when we see teams, there's a few exceptions, but usually teams that go far in the playoffs, so usually able to stop the run and can run the ball pretty well. Seems to have one side of it sorted, but yeah, from a rushing attack perspective, how concerning is it that at this point it just really hasn't got going yet?
It started going for the first week was a tester. The second week against Pittsburgh, I think you had K9 at 109 yards. And as I just mentioned there, a favourite of the pod, Robbie Utes, our fullback from Bama. Those first 2 games, he created so many holes. He had the double pancake block on the linebackers against Pittsburgh, which just sprung K9. Without that extra blocker, K9 finds it very difficult to hit those gaps. And you find him trying to circumvent an O-line, getting tackled for loss, then just relying on Charbonnet to be the hammer going through the A and B gaps. When you've got someone like Utes, who, if he's back this game, I think we might see our run game start to really come to fruition. And that's what we're really hoping for. The fact we've been winning games, like Mitch said, without a valid run game.
Yeah.
I think that's a testament. If we can start getting the run game going now towards the back end of the season, you should start seeing a marked improvement with our time in possession, with how we can sort of scheme up different plays as well.
I'll add one more thing into that before we leave that point as well. I think in if you go back 2 or 3 seasons where we've looked half decent, and then we suddenly just lost all of our running backs. Ken Walker was oft injured, and before we had Charbonnet, we'd end up going through backs, like they were going out of fashion, and you ended up relying on players like DJ Dallas to be the lead back, and it just didn't really work. The wheels fell off, but we were reliant on that run game. Well, we are scoring points without being reliant on the run, and it's kind of refreshing to think, well, actually, you could lose Ken Walker, you could lose Charbonnet, and actually the offense is working without the use of a consistent back getting 15 to 20 carries a game. So that gives me another source of optimism.
Yeah, you find different ways to win. Key in the NFL, certainly, and having that sort of different string to your bows. Give us a quick prediction for Sunday Night Football, then, chaps. Give us a score prediction each. On the spot, I know.
I'm taking the over on that 47.5.
Okay, cool.
I think that does become a bit of a shootout. But Seahawks to win, and I'd take the over on the 47.5.
Nice.
I'll just give you numbers because Mitch is the gambling man. I'm going to go. I am probably going to go. I'll say 24-14 Seahawks.
Comfortable win. Cool. Excellent. Good stuff. Hopefully, in for a good one. Could do, obviously, it being Sunday night football, having a cracker. Josh just mentioned there, Mitch is the gambling man. Well, I think.
Well, more the numbers man. Let's call it the numbers man, because gambling man makes it sound like he's got a problem. So.
Hey, look, we've all got a problem here at Good Teams and Great Teams Cover. Of course, we are a dedicated gambling show. So, yeah, maybe we have got some problems.
Fair enough.
But we've been going well. We've given out 33 winners in the last 2 weeks in the NFL. 33 winning bets.
Listening more.
So yeah,
you guys are on my rotation, but I wait till the Seahawks stuff comes up.
Check out the posts. Everything we've been going pretty well the last couple of weeks, and I think we're 112, 115 maybe for the season. So it's been pretty good. But what we're interested, that's not bad, is it? We're interested in what you've got for us, Josh and Mitch, and I guess Mitch in particular, because I think you've taken on the challenge. So it's 1 over, 1 under, one favorite, 1 underdog from the NFL Week 9 slate, and we'll have a chat through your picks as well. So let's start with your underdog, guys. Who have you got for us this week as your underdog?
I've got the Titans.
Ooh, Titans against the Titans. Got the Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah.
Nice. I think Titans are getting 9.5. I think. Yeah, looks like that.
Bet365's got 7.5, but 9.5 I like even more.
Ooh.
So
that changed this afternoon. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 9. You get 9.5. You can have it.
Nice. Okay, well, yeah, that's even better. I like my pick even more.
There you go. So Titans against what is it? 'Cause the Chargers obviously bounced back a little bit last week. Had big win on Thursday Night Football against the Vikings. They've had a bit of a mini bye, but yeah, you like the Titans at home to cover.
Yeah, the Titans. Yeah, the Titans have been particularly good against the spread, I think, when at home. So I like that. I like that in particular for that reason.
Yeah, and like I say, 10 points in essence. There's a lot of points at home, and the Chargers haven't looked great in terms of like the last month or so. So yeah, excellent. Okay, Titans plus 9.5 as your underdog. Who's your favorite of the week? I was going to start favorite first, and I was like, I think I might know who the favorite is going to be, because that tends to happen when we do these guest spots. So, Mitch, who's your favorite of the week?
The Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, nice. Okay,
dirty saying that, isn't it?
Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts against the Steelers. Now, I've got 3. I got it 3. This at 3s here, but my Titans. Is it still 3s?
Still 3. Yeah, Colts -3. Yeah, what do you think? Is because obviously the Colts have been unbelievable so far. Again, it's certainly the biggest shock in terms of how good a team have been, because I think the majority of people thought the Colts might struggle. 7-1, they've been unbelievable. And you fancy them to take down the Steelers in Pittsburgh?
Yes, I do. I like that. I think that's. First of all, I think that's going to be a great game. I think that's going to be an excellent contest. But yeah, I just like the Colts there. I think that's an interesting bet.
The number's great, 3. I always have the worry when they ever see the Steelers as an underdog at home. Like I went from last week against the Packers, because usually I've like that. They lose the game that they should win against the Bengals, and then they win a game that they shouldn't win. And I thought that was going to be last week against the Packers. My one worry is that it's going to be this week against the Colts, because this is just what Mike Tomlin does. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no sense to it. It's just kind of what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But
he's on the road to 9-8. That's
exactly,
the goal every year.
On the road to 9-8. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I do like the Colts this week. How good's Daniel? Jonathan Taylor's been amazing, but how good has Daniel Jones been? Like,
it's 2 words: offensive line.
Big time.
I said it before about Gray Zabel and what he did with Sam Darnold. Like Indiana Jones now playing behind that O-line, giving him time with a legitimate running threat. Not that they didn't have one with Saquon, but the O-line there wasn't as good as it is in Indianapolis. He's now actually being able to show what he can do with a bit of time on the ball. So he's not actually bricking it every time the ball's put in his hands and having to get away as quick as possible. He's given a few extra seconds to be able to make those decisions, and he's making good ones.
Yeah. And I think as well, when you look at Sam Darnold and you look at Daniel Jones, they've both been forged in the different sides of the same dumpster fire. And they have now emerged like Phoenix from the flames.
Phoenix from the trash. Yeah.
A burning trash smelling flames, granted. But yeah, they've both come out into good situations. And it's a bit like when you climb a hill or a mountain with a weighted backpack. Suddenly you don't have to you climb in a similar mountain, but without the weighted backpack, and all of a sudden it seems like slightly easier task. Well, that seems like a good comparison to carrying a New York Jets or Giants team and then playing for Minnesota or a good Colts team or the Seahawks right now.
Yeah, I think so. It's also like another shout out to Kevin O'Connell as well. So Danny Dimes had like 3 or 4 months with the Vikings at the back end of last season after he got cut by the Jets. And yeah, like everyone just seems to get revived when they spend any time with Kevin O'Connell, which of course you guys can attest to. Excellent. Give us your under for the week then, Mitch. Where do you think there might be a struggle for points or where the under's going to hit?
This is a spicy one, but my under is on the Chiefs and Bills.
Ooh, it's a big one, 52.5. Like, you're a man after my own heart. I like the big numbers going under sometimes. Yeah, 52.5. Well, how do you think this game is going to go, guys? Chiefs, Bills should be a good one.
For me, that's two teams that flatter to deceive a little bit when you look at the strength of the rosters versus the actual performance that they're getting out of it right now. And I think you look at that and go, oh, that's going to be a really exciting, high-scoring game. Watch that one fall drastically short of 50 for me.
Chiefs to win.
Defense, yeah, in particular.
Chiefs to win. Travis Swift with a touchdown.
And they can't break this. Like, the Chiefs are on a real bad run against the Bills in the regular season. And at least I think Buffalo have got them 4 or 5 times in a row, I think. So kind of almost like the Chiefs are due to get one back on them during the regular season. So yeah, should be great. It's probably the headline game of the week, isn't it? So should be a good one. And then Mitch, give us your over to finish things off.
A rested Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings, who are looking a little bit vulnerable right now. I think that is a high-scoring game. I don't think Minnesota get an awful lot going with that Lions D-line. I think whatever they try and put together is probably going to get wrecked. And I fancy that Detroit Lions offense with all the weapons it's got to march the ball down the field with regularity. So I think that'll be a high-scoring game, and most of it being done by the Lions.
Yeah, I can see the Lions covering that 48 on their own, like hitting 48 on their own.
Yeah, I could too.
Because yeah, they just do seem to be absolutely rolling. And again, I'm pretty sure obviously Carson Wentz is done, so that'll be JJ McCarthy back in the firing line, and we'll see if he's recovered from his injury.
Aiden Hutchinson now are skipping towards him, having signed the biggest contract for a non-quarterback in NFL history. They've just spent something like, was it $500 million on re-signing their key players? It's absurd, but
he won't be skipping that quick if he's got that paycheck in his pocket. That will weigh him down.
But yeah, that should be again. The Lions have been rolling and continue to do so. Excellent. So yeah, I like the look of that, Mitch. Yeah, Colts -3, Titans +9.5, Lions Vikings over, Chiefs Bills under. Very much like the look of that. Best luck. We've only hit one so far, and we're waiting for our first guest of the season to hit fourfold. So I feel confident every week, but I like the look of that. I think that's a well thought through and well built fourfold. So thank you for taking on the fourfold challenge, gents. Before we wrap up, give us one more shout out for where we can find all things 12 Talk.
12 Talk Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, other audio, all of them basically. We're everywhere. You can find us at 12 Talk Pod on X, TikTok, Instagram, and we have a Facebook group as well that you can find us in. And also, if you do check out our videos, you'll see links to our Discord in there as well, so you can come and join 12 Seahawks fans from all over the world just talking Seahawks throughout the season and sending various memes throughout the off season.
Excellent. Go follow the guys. Go give them your support. 12 Talk Pod for everything Seattle Seahawks in the UK. Gents, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming back on. Fingers crossed you enjoy the rest of the season. Have a good one. And we might see you in January. Talk some playoff football.
Yes,
Hope
there
so.
you go. It's in the diary now.
Excellent, good stuff. I don't want to be like, if things fall apart from here,
That's it. The prophet of doom. Thanks. Yeah.
Not my fault. Thanks for coming on. We're going to finish off the rest of our episode. We've got Monday Night Football left to talk about, plus our fourfold challenge. We'll be making our picks, our ATS picks, and the rest of our best bets. Thanks to Mitch and Josh there from the 12 Talk Pod. Make sure you'll give those guys a follow across all of the different channels at 12 Talk Pod for all your Seattle Seahawks UK insight. Great guys, great guests. And we'll see if Mitch's fourfold hits. We'll talk about more about fourfolds later on. But Sunday Night Football bets for us. I'm going to take the Seahawks minus the 3. They've won 9 in a row on the road, 7-2 against the spread in that 9-game winning run. I guess it's probably a bit of an unrealistic run, I guess. Like, how often do you win that many games on the road? But obviously, Commanders, even though Jaden Daniels, I think, seems to be back, Terry McLaurin is out again. I just think they're going to real struggle offensively, the Commanders, in this one. So I like the Seahawks. Just continue that really, really good run on the road. Give me Seahawks minus 3.
Grant, give me AJ Barner, anytime touchdown scorer at 2-1. 4 on the season. I think he's a very important weapon and getting more so in the Seahawks passing attack. Elijah Arroyo was kind of the hot name rookie, but AJ Barner's shown he's a do-it-all. He can block, he can receive. So I don't see any reason to go away from him already in the season. So anytime touchdown scorer, AJ Barner 2-1.
Yeah.
So, Joe.
Funnily enough, I've got Elijah Arroyo 40 plus receiving yards. So this is the only way it might go away from him is to have my bet at 16-5. He's hit 40 yards twice, including last week this year, and I just like that price that he could do it again against this Washington team where Sam Darnold might rely on his tight end. So yeah, hopefully it's a tight end heavy set for the Seahawks in Washington.
Well, the Seahawks won by last week, so they couldn't celebrate National Tight End Day. So I presume they're going to do it next week. Yeah.
And they go into their state namesake as well. So it's the Battle of Washington.
Battle of Washington, yeah. Excellent. Good stuff. How happy he is with himself with that now. Monday Night Football. We have got a run of Cowboys primetime games that is just nobody needs. Nobody needs it. Monday Night Football. Cardinals 2.5-point underdogs at the Dallas Cowboys. Over under is 53.5. Points. Last chance saloon on MNF. It's not easy to say that. 2 desperate teams on the verge of playoff extinction. All right, Joe. Who holds their nerve in Jerry World to keep hope for one more week? I just realised that you wrote the headline as well, Byron.
Yep.
What do we make on this one? Kyler back for the Cardinals. Cardinals have lost 5 in a row. Off bye? They're bye last week. No?
Yeah.
Yes, they're off. Yeah, they were by Armageddon. Off bye. Kyler back. Cowboys are horrendous against mobile quarterbacks. Cowboys 3-4-1 after getting shit pumped by the Broncos. Thoughts?
We are expecting Kyler back, but he was limited today in practice on Thursday. So, it is Monday Night Football, so that obviously gives them an extra day to get him ready. But I wouldn't be so confident that it's Kyler Murray. However, Kyler Murray in Jerry World, do you know his record?
It's like when it began, as if from like high school, college, all the way through.
Absolutely. He's 9-0. 5 victories during his high school career at Allen High School, leading them to state titles. A Big 12 championship win with the Oklahoma Sooners, and 2 previous victories over the Cowboys, Cardinals, 5, 6, 7, 8. That only adds up to 8 to me. So I don't know what this article's telling me. They say it's 9-0, but then they only list 8 wins. He's unbeaten, and he's won at least 8 games in Cowboy Stadium. Doesn't bode well for the Cowboys, but Cowboys offense does bode well for the Cowboys. I do think we're going to be looking at points here. Does it go over at 53.5? I'm not so sure. That is a ton of points. And again, I'd almost feel more confident if it is Jacoby Brissett back there because he looks like a better quarterback. I think ultimately we're going for a shootout. I think the Cowboys do win on home field. I think Schottenheimer's going to have a better week than last week. I think he'll reflect on a few things that went not so well, truthfully. And I think Javonte Williams in for a big game. Clayton Adams revenge game.
Yeah, I guess so.
Revenge of grade at a different team.
Yeah. I'm much less confident because the Cowboys are horrible against these kind of quarterbacks. Just horrible in the last few years. I can't see anything else that's going to change it. I'm from what Jonathan Gannon said. I'm fully expecting it to be Kyler, and Kyler's going to run all over him. He's going to have loads of time. He's going to dice him up, and then he's just going to take off. So yeah, I'll be hammering Kyler props, and I've taken the Cardinals ATS here, and this could be. Everything's going to implode on the Cowboys, and they've got this horrible run of games, all in prime time, and they're just going to be real, real bad. I think they're going to get some help back in the secondary, which is much needed after obviously they were just putting out guys from the street last week against the Broncos. So I think that will help. I've still no idea what Trayvon Diggs went on IR, didn't he? So he's not back, even though he was at practice. So that's just
very odd situation there.
Odd. Can't get him back till the end of November, and then he might actually be perfectly fit to play, which suggests he's going to go in a trade. Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe Donovan Wilson's back and Thomas, and that'll help on the back end. But I just cannot see how this defense is going to get much better. And again, you're asking Dak and the offense to be perfect. Sadly, they weren't. They were just not very good last week. Yeah. In fact, Brian Schottenheimer told the media today, you can stick all your offensive stats up your ass. Yeah. So you can stick all those offensive stats up your ass. We're ultimately a team, and when he's playing all three phases of the game, coach beat. But yeah, I just think they're in for a bit of a bad run here. Joe, what are your thoughts on Cardinals?
Yeah, it's this strange one. I was just looking because I was thinking, I'm sure the Cowboys always lose to the Cardinals. They've lost the last 7 out of 8. It feels like a few years back when we thought the Cardinals were going to be one of the worst teams, and they somehow beat the Cowboys. And just
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fun one. I just wait for the Cowboys in terms. I was just looking back through the Cardinals season. So except the first game against the Saints, they have not conceded more than 7 points in the first per quarter. In the first 3 quarters, it's always the last quarter. They always go downhill. So always a great defense to start the game and normally capitulate at the end. But what you worry is that this Cowboys defense is just as bad. So if the Cardinals get up and the Cardinals defense can hold this Cowboys team to less than 8 points per quarter, which they have been to start the game, is this going to be like one of them ugly games where the fans start turning on the Cowboys and there's all these screenshots of Jerry looking angry and all this kind of stuff, and so that's my word for the Cowboys. Obviously, the offense has been outstanding. It wasn't great last week, and this Cardinals defense certainly not the Broncos. But if they can try and stop Dak, make him throw a few interceptions, and then just keep the points ticking over, because like we said, the Cowboys can't stop anything. That this Cardinals it could be an upset, and I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, I'm not quite sure about the over. The over is a tricky one, just because what I've just said. So I might go under, just because I feel like everyone thinks it's going to be high scoring, but it could be like a chess battle, certainly at the beginning, maybe explode in the fourth quarter. But I've gone the Cowboys, just I think they're the better team, but I'm not confident whatsoever, just because what this Cardinals team have done against the Cowboys in the past, and just you can't expect anything from this Dallas team where they go into games, you think, oh, they should easily put some points up and not concede as much, and then yeah, it's the reverse. So because the Broncos could have scored a lot more, and it wasn't like their offense was firing until last week. So it might be nice for Kyler to come back against in familiar circumstances, and start hooking up with some of his key men like McBride, and if he can work with Harrison Jr. because that wasn't happening at the start of the year. Unlike Brissett.
Cool. Flip to the bets. So the public are actually on the under, and on the under big time. 71% in the money and 81% of the bets. I'm going over. Cowboys defense can't stop a thing. Cowboys will get to 20 at least. 20, 24 at minimum on possibly a bad day. Over 53.5. Cardinals are going to get to 30. Oh, 53.5. Easy.
Kyler Murray 3+ passing touchdowns for me. If it's Jacoby Brissett, I'll still take this bet as well. Hopefully better odds. 5-2. Again, unfamiliar turf, and against your dream matchup, the Cowboys secondary, which again, half expecting one of us three to be out there Monday Night Football. So Yeah, I worry for the Cowboys' ability to stop points. I still think the Cowboys will put up enough to win the game and cover. But yeah, I think points is on the menu here. So Kyler Murray 3+ passing touchdowns 5-2 for me.
Joe.
And finally, I've got McBride, anytime touchdown score and 70+ receiving yards at 21-10. Obviously, you'd like a little bit better odds, but just because he is the main man and Kyler, he is Kyler's guy when he's ever in trouble. And I think they're going to target him a lot this week, and he's going to rack up them yards and at least get one touchdown. So yeah, McBride anytime touchdown and 70+ receiving yards.
Those Cowboys linebackers are like trying to cover Trey McBride. Like, there's just no fucking chance, is there?
You don't think Jack Sanborn's going to keep up with Trey McBride?
No, Kenneth Murray's been quite possibly one of the worst football players I've ever seen. Not just for the Cowboys, just full stop. He's awful. Like, yeah, that's a great bet.
I think the only thing that stops this is Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Give us Jacoby.
Yeah. And just quick, I'm very worried this is the game that's going to make Jerry do something really fucking stupid.
On trade deadline.
So, game's Monday, trade deadline's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, what do you think stupid, though? Like, what could he actually do? Probably
trade for Max Crosby.
Okay. Free first Max Crosby, yeah.
I'll trade a fifth for like a random first rounder who's not worked out anywhere else. Like,
he's going to do something dumb. Because
the good thing is, I don't know if you've seen Jerry Jones' comments yesterday. He's not bothered about fixing the Cowboys' defense because he's found $100 billion oil rig or something along those lines, $100 billion of oil resources that he's investigating. So he's not even trying to fix the Cowboys' defense, and he's publicly saying it. So, Jerry, please retire.
Oh, Dan.
That's as quiet as I can be. Retire.
Next up, yeah, I suppose retirement or death doesn't really help us because we just get the next one and the next one.
I'll take the next one.
Right, next up, 4-4 challenge. This is our segment where we look to hit a 12-1 bet by putting together a favourite, an underdog, an over and an under from the week's slate in the NFL. I am the number one this week, am I, Joe? I'm going to think I'm just going to fall into the trap. Yeah, first pick. Sorry, not the number one. I think I'm just going to fall into the same trap as last week. Give me the Denver Broncos plus 1.5 at the Houston Texans. So they took the 49ers last week.
It's a trap.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like this. I feel like this one is that supposed to go off 3 times?
No, it doesn't repeat on StreamYard, so it's just that's how much of a trap it is. That's 3 times.
I feel this one is less trappy. It's trappy, but like obviously, I feel like there's a little bit of obviously the Broncos look really, really good against the Cowboys last week. You've got to take that with a heavy handful of salt. But I think the Broncos have been just sort of ticking along okay, and they've been finding ways to win games as well. I think the Texans last week took advantage of a really banged up 49ers team. So yeah, I think that offense looked better than it actually is. I think Nico Collins is back this week as well. So obviously that's tough. And I assume Pat Satani's missing still. And that's probably those combination of things is probably why the Broncos are still underdogs rather than favourites in this one. Doubtful. Not planning to put them on injured reserve. So maybe he plays.
Yeah, I like the Texans just because I think Bo Nix is he's in the bottom 3 of QBs when under pressure, and they're going against a defense which all they do is put QBs under pressure. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game, that's why it's a very low scoring number. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a battle.
Public are massively on the Broncos as well, and that worries me. 78% of the money and 83% of the bet. So it's not particular place I like to find myself. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the Broncos. I think they're probably the best underdog on the slate. So give me the Denver Broncos.
That's cool. I'll go next. I've only got one more underdog, so and I don't think Byron's got them, so that's fine. I'm gonna go my over. This is a risky one just because of Joe Flacco's if he's going to play or not. But I've got the Bears-Bengals over 51.5. One, the Bengals defense is trash, and I think the Bears are going to be outscoring them. 2, the Bears, I think all 3 of their starting cornerbacks are out from the start of the season. and they're going against Chase and Higgins. So if Flacco plays, I'll be more comfortable. Even if he doesn't, I think they'll be able to score some points on this Bears defense. So I can see this being a high-scoring team and a bit of a shootout to see which team can, are they going to bungle or Bears it? One of these teams are going to come out as a victory and go against their usual pattern. So so over 51.5.
Have we still not done the Tom Hardy / Cray brothers shootout thing from the film? Legend? A proper shootout. We need that sound effect. Byron does not see, obviously, as a non-movie guy, has clearly not seen it, but it would work, Byron. It'd be great. You should also watch that film. Add that to your list. It's great.
What was it? Sorry, I didn't even hear.
It's called Legend. It's the Craze, story of the Craze, and Tom Hardy plays both brothers.
All right. Oh, we got 2 paychecks. I am taking a classic movie off my list this week. I watched half of it yesterday when I watched the other half before Thursday night football, hopefully. Ghostbusters. So taking that off for the first time ever, and I loved it halfway through. Got a little too late in the night last night to finish it, but Ghostbusters. You
get bonus movie reviews here at Good Teams and Great Teams Cover as well.
Yeah, if you're curious about the 1987 flick Ghostbusters, halfway through it's very good. So tune in on Tuesday for the full review.
That little known 80s film Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's got this guy Bill Murray in it. If anyone's heard of him, William Murray maybe he goes by in his older age. Not sure. But I think he's got a future in acting. Speaking of a good future, Lions over the Vikings, 48 points, please. JJ McCarthy recovered from his ankle injury. Jared Goff does well against the Vikings. He's got Brian Flores' number in the last 4 meetings under Dan Campbell. They've gone over 3 times. The only time they haven't is because Minnesota only put up 9 points. There's no way JJ McCarthy's offense only puts up 9 points. He's had an ankle injury. He hasn't had any kind of soft benching, so there's no worries there. Yeah, I think the Lions cook on gas on offense. Dan Campbell talked about
are you going over or the Lions?
I'm going over 48.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe. Yeah, so yes, Jameson Williams, Dan Campbell has, without naming him, spoke about he's someone that wants to see get more involved. I think it's going to be a big second half of the season for JMO. Maybe not every week, but they've got a lot of dome games coming up. I think they only have 1 more outdoor game. So if you can buy low on Lions in fantasy as well, there's only really JMO you might be able to, truthfully, because Gibbs is already cooking, Goff's already cooking, and Amon-Ra's cooking. So your only chance is probably JMO and hoping that you pick the right week when he smashes. I think this could well be one of them. Over 48 points for me. And I'm going to take a risky move. We don't do it often. I'm going to take Ravens as my favorite. Thursday night football. 7.5. They're going to kill the dog.
Go with Charlie.
Always go with Charlie. Always back the dog, These day and age, 5-0. He's going to be 6-0 by the time you're listening to this. So, yeah, I'm going Ravens. TNF minus 7.5. Don't see how the Dolphins keep up with them. Like I said, Storm Ducky's out for the rest of the season. I don't know how you recover from that. So,
yeah, cool.
I mean, I'm going to get my fourfold on quickly as well once we finish recording.
Yeah. Joe,
okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one, so I've got a few favorites to choose from. I got my favorite. I'm going to go the Jags -3 at the Raiders. I was surprised why it was -3. The Raiders might be the worst team in NFL, and it feels like they're kind of giving up.
Yeah.
So, and the Jags, I know they lost the last game. It was a poor game against the Rams in London, but still, I was surprised that it was only 3 points. So I'm going the Jags -3. I got 2 Heisman finalists against each other. They might be able to do at the same time.
Excellent, right, yo. So I can save my favorite, can't I? Which is good. I'm glad because I'm going to have the favorite that I wanted, which is cool. So I need totals. You've also got your overs as well. Bloody hell. So I'm going to go my under. Give me I've got 3 that I love. Give me the 49ers and the New York Giants. Don't really know who's going to play quarterback. Is it Brock Purdy? Is it Matt Jones, Joe?
It's Kyle Shanahan. It could be,
It's neither of them is Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, it could be they've just signed someone. He likes to. what I heard is that Brock Purdy was limited at training, so it seems like he's playing, but also Kyle Shannon was like, he might not. So who knows? But I think it's going to be Brock Purdy, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's been a kind of struggle for. I mean, if we have a look at the last few weeks for the Niners, 26-20, 19. Tough, and then the Giants obviously just have the off the back of that heartbreaking loss against the Broncos, and then Cam Scatterbo goes down. There is no air in the balloon with Big Blue at the minute, so I just think they're going to really struggle offensively as well. So I just think this is going to be a bit of a rock fight under 48.5, and it's going to be a real close game as well. So yeah. I like the under 48.5. And then I need an over and my favourite. Give me, I'll take my favourite next. Give me the Detroit Lions minus the 8.5. Feel like this should be double digits. Lions are so good at home covering. The 4-0 ATS at home and have covered all four comfortably. Against Minnesota, in particular against the Vikings, they've covered 9 in a row, home or away against the Vikings. And covered the last 5, winning the last 4. I like your over, Byron. I think this might be one where the Lions put up 50. I really do. So I think the Lions might cover that themselves. Give me the Lions minus the 8.5. I think I'd be good if this was like minus 14 or something as well. I really do think the Lions are just going to kick the shit out of the Vikings there. No disrespect.
Nice. Okay. You took my under, which I thought was going to come back round.
Sorry, mate. I've been terrible on whenever I've had the Niners in my fourfold, whatever the game, I've not got it right. So whatever I've picked, I've just not got it right. So,
I don't. There's not many unders I actually like. I've
got 2 more if you want them.
Oh, is one of them? So it's probably not because I think you've gone. I'm going to go Seahawks at Washington, the Battle of Washington, under 47.5. I know Jaden Daniels back, but I feel like it's just going to be a close game against these two very defensive. Dan Quinn's going to rile his troops against the Commanders, against the Seahawks, against his old team. So yeah, under 47.5 Seahawks.
Excellent. Byron, you need a underdog and an under.
Yes. Underdog. Don't love it. Wanted the Broncos. Didn't get them. I am going to take the New York Fighting Giants, please, at plus 2.5. Niners traveling across country. Very questionable defense, despite adding Keon White. And I think I only have one other underdog, which is the Panthers, who I'm obviously less confident in than the Giants. So I think the Giants can squeak this win out even without Cam Scatterbo, sadly. But I think Jackson Dart has got enough about him to give this 49ers defense problems. And I just don't quite know what you get with the Niners week to week with the way they are injured. So not one I'm hugely confident in. I wanted the Broncos. They didn't last. I don't have many underdogs this week, so I have to take one. And therefore, it has to be the Giants plus 2.5. I can't really sell it because I don't hugely believe in it.
That's fair. You know what? You got to be honest about these things, Byron. That's sometimes just the way the board goes when we do the fourfold draft. That's the difficult aspect about it.
Indeed, yeah. My under, I'm going to take Jags at Raiders 44.5. In 7 meetings between the Jags and the Raiders in Oakland, Las Vegas, wherever it may be, the overs only hit once. It's 1-6 lifetime. And I think the Jags kind of just take care of business pretty comfortably here. I think it's a good favourite, like Joe's took it there at 5 overall. I could see this being a 24-7, 24-10 type game.
Is Kenny Pickett going to play?
There's talk of it, yeah. And AOC has been, his window for return has been opened up as well. It's clear Geno isn't the future. You find no one who stand Geno more when he was great in Seattle than me, but like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not biased. Like, he's played probably the worst football in the league this season as a quarterback. I can't think of anyone who stands out worse. So maybe Jake Browning, but certainly of the people you expect to be starters, Geno's been number 32, not number 1. So yeah, I think the Jags can comfortably take care of business here. Some injury issues at wide receiver for the Jags as well. Brian Thomas I think he's expected to play, but as a shoulder injury. Diami Brown is coming out the bye with an injury. I expect to get Travis Hunter more involved, but I think this might just be a take care of business week for the Jags. Like I say, get 20 points and grind the rest of the game out.
Excellent. Joe, you need your underdog, mate.
Yeah, and I've only got one this week. And I don't even like it. I had the Broncos as my second option, even though I won the Texans, just because, I really like that bet. But
Joe, I've just seen who you're going to pick.
Yeah, I've got the Falcons. Yeah, the Falcons plus 5.5 at the Patriots. That's the only underdog I've gone this week. There's not much analysis. It's the whole. I see the Falcons as 4-4. I don't see the Patriots going. What will be 7-2, 6-2. It's just vibes that I feel like the Patriots could just slip up on one of these games, and the Falcons could be one of them where at least they have a chance where they could be great or they can be garbage. So you just hope it's the week where they've wake up on the right side of the bed and have a good bowl of Weetabix on Sunday to win that game.
I love it, and I might have the balls to bet Falcons money line this week. It's just the thing. This is the thing about where they were so bad last week. And I know there's a bit around that. Obviously, obviously Penix didn't play and Cousins had to come in. They had no Drake London, but they're just that. We're going to get the Bill. We're going to get the Falcons that played against the Bills, I think, this week. Not the Falcons that played against the Dolphins and Panthers. And then they'll be shit the next week when they're in Germany and the Colts will absolutely fucking hammer them. I think that's where they are. I just for that reason alone, I've picked them. I say that I'm getting a bit, ahead of myself. I think they might win the game outright. Sorry, yeah, I forgot. I thought I'd finished. Sorry. Over. I've given you 3 overs already, haven't you? So it's got to be one of them 3. Which one am I most confident in? Cardinals Cowboys over 53.5. Try and roll it into Monday Night Football.
It's double down.
Yeah, I have to be one of those 3. I can't be betting. I'm betting 3 overs that are over 50. I can't be betting any more overs this week. Can I? That's just insane. Insane behavior to bet 3 over 50 totals when there are less than 500 over 50 totals of hitting. It's just a stupid thing to do, but it's just those games. I just love the totals in those games. So, yeah, we're going to try and hit another 4-4. So Joe hit one 2 weeks ago, was it, Joe? Yeah. So we're looking to hit another one. Obviously, you've just heard Mitch's of the 12 Talk pod. He's got Colts -3, Titans plus 9.5 against the Chargers, not the Broncos. Over 48 in Vikings, Lions, and under 52.5. So I'm going head-to-head Chiefs, Bills. So hopefully we get at least one, hopefully multiple hitting this week. And there you are, your 12-1 shots. ATS then. I suppose we've not got many games to touch. I think there's only probably 1 or 2 that we haven't talked about from an ATS perspective. I think there's 2. We're all on the Ravens, and hopefully for your 4-fold Byron, it's hit, but Charlie's picked them, so of course it will. Hopefully 6 in a row. All on the Bears, all on the Lions. We're all on so many games together this week. It's bad news. All on the Lions. Packers, Panthers, we haven't really talked about. Byron, are you liking the Panthers to cover the 13 points?
It's just a lot of points. And the Packers have played around with the food a little against bad teams. They haven't quite dominated. Obviously lost to the Browns. Didn't put the Cowboys out of sight and tied the game. I'm a little concerned with the Panthers. Will it be Bryce Young? Will it be Dalton? I think it'll be Bryce Young. And I think it is an improvement. Dalton, I think, has maybe had his shine. His
he was injured as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just think it's a lot of points. Get behind Rico Dowdle, buy Chuba Hubbard, and Panthers just try and run the clock down and, form a teammate matchup. Micah versus Rico. No one's talking about it, but,
There should be.
Yeah.
Cool. We're all on the Chargers. We haven't really talked about this game. Mitch has got it as his, I guess, as his underdog. But we're all on the Chargers -9.5. Yeah, Chargers bounced back a bit last week. Again, Joe expecting them to put in another comfortable win against this Tennessee Titans team.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say congrats to Mitch already, since we've all gone the Chargers, obviously. Are going to come in. But yeah, I think that was the best game they played for a couple of weeks. Obviously, they started off hot. We were all crowning them the best team in the NFL. Had a few injuries. I think Joe coming back. I think Barry mentioned he should be MVP just because how big of a difference he makes. coming in. And this Titans team just feels a bit, you get like one good half from them, and they're still losing by 6-7 points. They're trading away the defensive backs, which I know the interim head coach doesn't sound too pleased, where I think Snead's injured and they've got rid of the other two. So it's, they haven't got the best team. Campbell, I think, played decent last week. So that's the positive what Mitch can hold on to. But I think this Chargers team's going to try and strangle Holden. Vidal's finally come out of his, out of his shell. So it's going to be interesting when Hampton comes back, how they're going to spread their ranks. I think Vidal stepped into his shoes, expertly. So it should be a fun game.
So Byron, I think you've got a little something for us.
Always, you know me. So the Chargers have played in Tennessee / Oiler Stadium 9 times. They've lost the first 3. They've won the middle 3. They've lost their last 3, which tells me they're going to win on Sunday, start a 3-game winning streak. However, the last time they won there was all the way back in December 25, Christmas Day, in fact, 2009. So obviously what I'm asking you is...
Number 1.
Christmas 2009.
Number 1, 2009. What was it?
So that's the X Factor run, surely, of number ones. However, in the middle of that, one didn't get there because I think this song got there. Is it Killing in the Name of?
My man, it is Rage Against the Machine. Killing in the Name of.
Killing in the Name of. I can't remember which X Factor winner it beat, but it beat one of them, didn't it?
It did indeed. It prevented X Factor from having their 5th successive Christmas number 1. So, bang, great shout, great knowledge.
Yeah, we rallied against Simon Cowell and the pop producing machine. Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of.
That's all I have for this game.
So glad I got one of those. We discussed Patriots fans already. Me and Joe are on the Falcons. Me and Joe on the Niners. I don't really like that. I should have gone Giants. All on the Colts. Me and Byron on the Broncos. All on the Jags. All on the Rams. This is going to be Tyler Shook's first start. The Saints, they're going on the road to LA against the Rams, who've had a week off. Doesn't spell a good recipe, does it, for a first NFL start?
I would like to offer a wager here. I'm not sure if he's a listener of the show, but Kellen Moore says Tyler Shook is going to start the rest of the season. I would like to say bet, because Tyler Shook is not making it to the end of the season. That O-line is falling apart. Tyler Shook, I think he had 30 throws on Sunday. I think he's going to fall apart. I don't think he makes it to the end of the season.
I don't know if he'll make it into this game.
That's in play.
Yeah,
Aaron Verse must be licking his lips coming off the bye.
Yeah. With McCoy going out and not being great, interior offensive line against a team which is, that's their strength, is
strongest point. Yeah,
his strongest point. So I think Shook's going to be Shooks, and Rattler's going to be coming in later on.
There's like a cartoon thing. Oh shit! Sorry. Can I interest you in Rams over 3.5 sacks at 20-27?
The entire team. I don't need to pick a player. Yep.
No, that's the entire team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, 20-27. There isn't an alternate line on that because I think that's 6 against the Jags at Wembley. So, yeah, I feel like it might be more than that. Cool. Just me on the Bills, you two on the Chiefs, all on the Seahawks, and then you two on the Cowboys for Monday Night Football. I'm leading the way in the ATS. I've had a real good run, so I'm due a bad one. 5-game lead over Byron, who's got a 10-game lead over Joe. Joe having to claw his way back from the hole that he dug himself the first third of the season. Excellent. Right, that's it. That is our NFL Week 9 preview here at Good Teams Doing Great Teams Cover. Thanks again for joining us. We appreciate we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you getting involved. So give us a follow if you're not already. I'm sure you are, but if you're not, you should be. Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover. Podcast is available on Spotify, Podbean, Overcast, Apple Podcast, YouTube for the video version, and make sure you follow them in the socials. Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And we'll be back with our our fantasy game day, week 9, 10-minute tips. You can catch that on Saturday, and you can also catch it live on X on Sunday. So we'll see you then.